everyone. Welcome to the second game of the SpellSlingers tournament, where we have Kool versus Gerrit Brock. I'm now going to tell the players that they can start. Start whenever you are ready. From what I understand, we have Kool playing a mono water Blue Abyss deck. So Blue Abyss is their mechanic. You reveal a Blue Abyss card from your hand, and then special effects occur. He got the Blue Abyss starter deck, which you can see an unboxing on the channel, and he changed it ever so slightly. He has not told me the updates, but from what I see, it looks pretty interesting. And then we have Gerrit Brock here, who has what seems to be a homebrew poison deck of some sort. He has cards like Kool Asp, Problem Solver, Katerian Bauble, and Weirland Scimitar. I'm actually this deck list is completely alien to me, so I can't say I'm really familiar. So let's see how it works out. Kool is on the play. I do think, just going into this, Kool a bit of an underdog. The Blue Abyss cards, through testing, have kind of had a strange variety of how good or bad they've been. So I think Gerrit is definitely favored at the moment, just by the nature of his deck. Classic starts from both, just channeling a Mana Stone. Also, another note that I don't think either one of these players are going to be really good. They're not going to be very aggressive early on. They're definitely much later game decks. You'd have a little bit of confusion on the mechanics, but that's fine. I think he attempted there to play a Thorntail Scamp face down, which is understandable. But it would have been really embarrassing if I commented on how slow these decks were, only for him to do an amazing turn 1 play. Here's Kool with his second Mana Stone. Possibly playing a prosthetic arm onto nothing. That'd be a decent play. Or he could also hold up and try to bluff a counter spell to try to get into Gerrit's head a bit. But we shall see. Yep, there's the prosthetic arm. Prosthetic arm gives the attached ally a health bonus and steadfast, and you can attach for 3. He's playing it so he can attach it for cheaper later. And if he were to save it and try to play it immediately and then immediately attach it, he would have to pay 5, if that makes sense. Or left click. So that is the Thorntail Scamp. Paid for with 2 gray into his prosthetic arm. And in case you are unfamiliar, Shroud is an ability where you can summon an ally face down for 2 mana of your choice. It's a neutral 200/200 ally, and while face down, you can pay its Shroud cost to flip it upright. This is the Scamp, as he showed earlier. When it gets flipped face up, it can deal 100 damage. So just quick ping worth of damage. Pretty basic stuff. It's a very interesting mechanic. We really haven't seen too much of it. The main staples of the Shroud mechanic are things like Containment Agent and such. Let's see. Kool Kid plays his 3rd Mana Stone and then elects to pass. So probably keeping up the Spell Ray to counter something. Gerrit with his Earth Mana Stone, so now he can finally flip the Scamp if he wants. Also interesting note that Kool Kid didn't play the Trident from the Blue Abyss, but I think this is a smarter play on his part where he's holding up Spell Ray. That's actually really intelligent of him. We're going to have Thorntail Scamp get flipped face up. When it gets flipped face up, it performs a 100 damage attack, so that is going straight to Kool Kid's face. Just a needle to the cheek. And we're going to see what else is going to go down. Probably the Scimitar, if I could guess. Since he does not have the correct amount of mana to play the Kool-Scale Asp at the moment. Yep, he's going to play it face down. So the Asp is face down. Kool Kid does not know that that is the Asp. That is an interesting tactic. It could definitely work, though. And I think this is Kool Kid. Yep, Spell Raying it. So Blue Abyss Spell Ray. And he's going to reveal the Umbra Squid to counter Gerrit playing his face down. Probably Gerrit's either thinking about it or possibly reading the card. Yep, just double checking on what countering does. There goes Kool-Scale Asp. A very dangerous card with Poisonous and Predator. And a really good play by Kool Kid, leaving the Spell Ray up. A greedier player would play the Trident first. And good thing that Kool Kid didn't. Otherwise, that Kool-Scale Asp could deal a lot of damage. Gerrit's deck seems to have a lot of Poisonous. And Kool-Scale Asp is a prime example of that, with Poisonous and Predator. So the Asp can get very large very quickly if Kool Kid kept feeding it stuff. So just a really smart play on his part. Especially, that was very risky since he didn't know the exact nature of what he was countering, but it worked out pretty well for him in the end. And funny enough, the Asp, of course, is illustrated by Gerrit Brock, its current player, which I find entertaining. He seems to really like the artwork since, you know, he's playing his own card. Who can blame him? So we're gonna see how the Spell Ray is gonna go up for this. The Spell Ray is probably gonna go equipped with the prosthetic arm, which is a funny image to have in your head. Yep, Ace 3 for it. Very good. So now the Spell Ray is going to have a health bonus. So now it is a 100/400, and it attacks Scamp. Yep, Spell Ray takes 2. Oh, I see. So he uses the counters there as markers to show its value. Spell Ray does not take any damage. That is right, since the Scamp was exhausted. Here is Shadow Puppet Pain. A good just wall. So Shadow Puppet Pain is a Shadow Puppet. This card cannot attack. When this ally is dealt damage, deal that much damage to a non-puppet ally. So if Spell Ray were to hit it, Spell Ray would probably take 100. Or it doesn't even have to be Spell Ray. It can be any other ally on the field that isn't a puppet. So, good. It's buying Gerrit some time, allowing to give him some breathing room. He kept that hand because of the Kool Scale Asp and the Thorntail Scamp having a decent start. And now neither of those things are in play anymore. So with the Shadow Puppet Pain, he's able to take a couple steps back and give some time to breathe. Kool Kid seems to take the Spell Ray and change its stats. I'm not entirely sure what that's about. Is he unequipping the prosthetic arm? Perhaps? That is... Or are we going to get an explanation from it in the chat real quick? Very interesting. Because if the Spell Ray were to attack the puppet would take damage. The puppet would only take 1 point of damage, which would bring Spell Ray's stats to 3, but I'm not entirely certain. Let's see, paying 3. Oh, paying 4. Okay. So it's probably he's gonna play the Shock Eel, perhaps. Ah, the Umbra Squid. Okay, here we go. So now he gets to reveal a Blue Abyss card from his hand. There he is. And now you get to draw a card, then discard a card. Going to discard the Trident. Okay. It's very interesting that he discarded the Trident. So I think that kind of gives us some insight into Kool Kid's strategy here. He's not going incredibly aggressive. I think that's because he saw the Poisonous Asp and is a bit wary to kind of attack with a valuable relic like the Trident straight into Gerrit's minefield of poisonous things. Gerrit there choosing to draw, drew a Purge. Destroy all non-zombie allies. Very interesting. We have not seen any zombies from Gerrit yet. But perhaps this alludes to some future cards that he might be pulling. I'm going to see what he's playing here. For 3, yep, Katerian Bauble. Choosing to play another Mana Stone. Very smart. He had to slow down there earlier and start drawing some defenses because Kool Kid had a much more... Kool Kid countered Gerrit's more aggressive start. Very impressive play there by Kool Kid, and a good play by Gerrit there. There's not a lot that he can do right now other than take a couple breathers. The puppet is going to give him a lot more time. Kool Kid can't really attack into it without blowing his own stuff up. So it just makes sense. Although, from a greater meta point of view, if Kool Kid is playing Blue Abyss, he might have Bazazan lure the Blue Abyss, which is a very large boss monster that Gerrit might have some trouble taking down if he's not careful. Although I'm not too worried since he has the Problem Solver card in his hand. We'll get to that in just a second. First, Kool Kid is going to pay 3 to play the... pay 4 to play the Shock Eel. So Shock Eel bounces the Shadow Puppet Pain. Very good. And then I believe, yep, that is swinging in with the Blue Abyss. So Gerrit's going to take 5 here. Umbra Squid has some good stats on him. So a lot of really good tempo plays from Kool Kid here. The Shock Eel bouncing his only real defender. Gerrit has had a really good start, but then he got put on his back heel, and now he's been trying to recover. Channels a Mana Stone. Mana Stone of Decay. Pretty good on his part. 5 mana. There is the Shadow Puppet. And he's going to pass it back. Interesting. He had some spare mana there, chose not to play the Scimitar. And Kool Kid has drawn one of the staples of the format, Containment Agent. So Containment Agent has that Shroud ability that I mentioned earlier, where you can play it face down. And you can pay 2 water mana and a gray to flip him face up. And when he does, he banishes an ally, and if Containment Agent ever leaves the battlefield, you return the banished ally under its owner's control. So he basically shows up, arrests something, and if he ever dies or disappears, then the thing gets out of prison. A cool trick with Containment Agent is that you can pay 5 and play him face down, and then immediately flip him face up to instantly arrest something. And that's how he's most commonly used, but Kool Kid seems to be playing the long game a little bit. Playing the Containment Agent face down. A lot of really good tempo plays. Oh wait, no, here we go. I think he's flipping it face up immediately. Let's see, there we go. Flipped it face up. So Containment Agent is going to banish the Shadow Puppet, I believe. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but yep, there it goes. So now the Containment Agent is holding the Shadow Puppet, and now the Blue Abyss come in. So that is 8 points of damage. Yeah, Gerrit's getting really beat down. The tempo plays. Kool Kid has started up strong, put his foot on the gas, and has not let go. Gerrit decides not to untap and just immediately tap everything to purge. Makes the most sense there. None of the Blue Abyss are zombies. So that means all of them are gone. Containment Agent, because Containment Agent is dying, that means he leaves the field, which causes Shadow Puppet Pain to come back. So I'm trying to think of things that Kool Kid could top deck right now. He is in all the pressure that he had early on in the game is gone now. So I'm trying to think how he can kind of come back from this. He just needs another Blue Abyss card to sync up with everything else. If he gets another Blue Abyss card, then his Umbra Squid's going to trigger. Okay, he got a Runic Examination instead. He's probably going to cast that. Or he could cast the Umbra Squid with no value. That could also work. And it looks like he's going with the Runic Examination. Yep. Runic Examination drew him Counter Charm and Hypnotic Pattern. 2 very good cards, but only really good on your opponent's turn. Ends with a Wall of Ice. So, looks like Kool Kid's put his shields back up, but with Counter Charm and Hypnotic Pattern, he can continue to tempo out Gerrit, I believe. I think Gerrit's going to have to really step up his game and get a threat on the board if he's going to do something. And it has to be a big threat at that, otherwise Hypnotic Pattern is going to get him. Draws from his deck, gets a Mana Orb. one of the staple cards in the format. Has a lot of relics in his hand. Not a lot of things he can attach it to. Shadow Puppet Pain cannot attack. So you might. So for all the people that are screaming at their screen to play the Scimitar or Problem Solver, Shadow Puppet Pain can't do anything with them. There's the Scimitar. Passes it to Kool Kid. Kool Kid draws a card, and there is the Blue Abyss that he's been looking for. So now he could bounce the Pain, but there wouldn't be a lot of value to that. He's probably just going to Hypnotic Pattern it. Possibly. Or he could also just pass the turn and keep Counter Charm up to counter. If Gerrit ever plays anything big, the Counter Charm can put an end to it before a threat gets on the board. Here's that Kool Kid is thinking at the moment. He's in a very tricky position. Things are still looking good for him though. He's in the position to think. He has a lot of options. He does need to find a way to pinch off this game though. Gerrit is at 7, but Gerrit is beginning to stabilize. He has a Mana Orb in play. He has a Whirling Scimitar and Problem Solver. Whirling Scimitar is in play, Problem Solver in hand. If Gerrit gets a heavier body on the field and is able to attach some of the stuff, then he'll kind of become unstoppable in a sense. Yep, there's the Hypnotic Pattern. Hypnotic Pattern of the Shadow Puppet Pain. Not a half bad play, but if Gerrit gets a bigger threat, then the Hypnotic Pattern might not be as effective, but again, there is nothing wrong with that. So now Gerrit's turn. Draws Thorntail Scamp, not exactly the card he was looking for. Thorntail Scamp can take the Whirling Scimitar, but with the Shadow Puppet Pain on the field, redirecting any damage, and with the Wall of Ice dealing 100, the Scamp isn't going to be going very far. I suppose Gerrit could equip the Scamp with the Scimitar and the Problem Solver, but he needs a card to discard with Problem Solver. I believe he's just going to, just going to equip the Scimitar. So now Thorntail Scamp is a 400-100 with swordsmanship. We have a thorny squirrel with a sword. Passes it back to Kool Kid. Very interesting here. Now, let's see. Kool Kid, I actually believe Kool Kid is starting to run low on the tempo here. Gerrit has been taking his time building up some mana. Yep, Kool Kid's starting to realize this and plays a Mana Stone. It might be a little too late for him. Gerrit has the same amount of Mana Stones, but he also has a Mana Orb, which puts him head and shoulders above Kool Kid at the moment. So Gerrit is going to get to his threats a lot faster than Kool Kid. I have to see here. There's a lot of different plays he could do here. He could Shock Eel the Thorn Scamp and return it to his hand, just to slow Gerrit down a bit more. Force him to play the Scimitar again. But if he does that, then he leaves himself open to an even bigger threat by not using the Counter Charm. Is he using the Prosthetic Arm? It looks like he changed his mind. Still thinking this is a very stressful situation. I am impressed with the first couple plays by Kool Kid, though. He has done a very good job putting a stop to Gerrit's earlier plays. Okay, so he's attaching the Prosthetic Arm to the Shadow Puppet, so that gives it 200 more health, and he has 3 mana open with Counter Charm. So Counter Charm. Gerrit draws, ooh, Milkdew Demon. That is something that Kool Kid will want to Counter Charm. So that was a good choice by Kool Kid, even though he doesn't know it yet. That is a good choice by him. So Counter Charm counters target ally, drill, spell, or relic. So as a card is entering play, you can stop it from even entering play to begin with. You cause them to, you cancel the summoning, you do all this stuff. It seems that they have trouble, since the Shadow Puppet Pain belongs to Gerrit. They are having trouble with showing ownership now that Kool Kid controls it. Yep, there you go. Banish. They figured it out. We got some pros on the field. Still Gerrit's turn. So what's interesting is that Gerrit might play the problem solver here first to try to bait out the counter charm. And Kool Kid might just counter charm the problem solver, which again isn't the worst play, but it's maybe not exactly the best. Okay, he's going to play the Milkdew Demon face down. Here is Kool Kid's opportunity to counter it, and it looks like he's countering it. Yep. Counter charm. Counter charms the Milkdew Demon, stopping Gerrit from keeping any real threats on the board, which is just a really good play. Gerrit just kind of stuck here with the problem solver in hand. He's going to have Thorntail Scamp attack the Wall of Ice. So Thorntail Scamp has 400 in swordsmanship, so the Wall of Ice will not even be able to deal damage to the Scamp. So Gerrit is starting to apply a little bit of pressure that he's leaked through. Yep, there goes the Wall of Ice. And the Scamp should be exhausted. Yep, there it goes. Really interesting. The cool thing about this board state right now. Okay, Kool Kid draws a card. Snooping Sleuth. I don't think that's going to do a whole lot for him right now. With Gerrit's board state at the moment, if Kool Kid were to shock eel the Thorntail Scamp, Gerrit could just replay the Scamp and immediately re-equip the Scimitar. So Gerrit is applying a small bit of pressure right now. He's turned the tables around. He had a good start at the beginning. Kool Kid then completely flipped it on him, and now he's starting to come back. That purge kind of evened the playing field a little bit, and now he's slowly crawling back to the lead that he started with. Kool Kid is thinking. Trying to think of the optimal play for Kool Kid. What I think he's going to do is possibly play the Umber Squid and discard the Sleuth and try to draw something new. At least then you have a 400/400 body that can protect you for a little bit. And the Umber Squid has stealth. So they'll be kind of in a bit of a stalemate. So if he does play the Umber Squid, Gerrit cannot attack Umber Squid directly. He can only attack Kool Kid to try to provoke a block. Yep, there's the Umber Squid. Kool Kid and I are of the same mind. We are both genius intellectuals. Draws Flash Freeze. That's an interesting one. Yep, going to discard the Sleuth just like I predicted. I am a wizard. I believe that was the right play there. So Umber Squid cannot be attacked by other allies while unexhausted. So since the Umber Squid is not exhausted at the moment, Gerrit cannot attack with his Thorntail Scamp. Gerrit chooses to draw a card. He really needs some gas right now. He needs a big creature of some sort. Draws Rainbow Residuum. Not exactly a card that you're seeking out at the moment, but not terrible. I'm probably going to play Rainbow Residuum this turn, or he could keep it in his hand so he can equip Problem Solver in the future. seems to be thinking. If he attaches Problem Solver to the Scamp at the moment and tries to attack the Shadow Puppet will live. Okay, so he's just going to play the Rainbow Residuum. They are now declaring the elements. So Rainbow Residuum is a strange, much like Mana Orb, only where Mana Orb can create 2 of anything as long as it's the same type. Residuum, you choose 1 and then your opponent chooses 1. And that's the mana it can make. So this Residuum can create a dark and a fire. Gerrit picking dark, Kool Kid picking fire. And he's going to play Problem Solver. Kool Kid draws Mana Orb. Okay. Not exactly life-changing, that Mana Orb, but it's good. He's starting with this. If he plays this Mana Orb this turn, he's able to kind of keep up with, not exactly keep up with Gerrit, but not be totally thrown back in the Stone Age mana-wise. I feel like Gerrit could almost play any card in his deck if he wants, as long as he's able to draw it. So now Gerrit is able to focus completely on drawing cards. Let's see. So Gerrit did not fall for Kool Kid's trap by attacking him directly. Smart play on Gerrit's end by just kind of sitting back and not letting that hit him. Kool Kid's thinking about it. Yep, there's the Mana Orb. These 2 things are the exact same card. They are just different artworks. And passes it back. Okay, so he's keeping 3 water mana up for flash freeze, and there is a Hellfire. Hellfire, destroy target non-dark, non-fire ally. So he could blow up the Pain or Umbra Squid if he wants. But is it... Actually, he can only blow up the Umbra Squid, since Pain is his own ally, and it is a dark ally. Very interesting turn of events here. Is blowing up the Umbra Squid worth it? Umbra Squid here is not the problem. It is the Shadow Puppet at the moment. Decides to pass it back. Okay. It's possible that he's saving the Hellfire for a future ally of some sort, maybe Bazazan. Or he's holding onto it for the problem solver. There's a Malfunction. Malfunction really good right now against Gerrit's board state. Kool Kid could Malfunction the Scimitar and put the Thorntail, and possibly kill the Thorntail Scamp with that. That's a really good tempo play right there. Or maybe Kool Kid has even more dubious plans in mind. Taps 2. And play, yep, there goes the Malfunction. Let's see what he's targeting. I believe it's going to be the Scimitar, but it could also be the Problem Solver. Problem Solver is a scary card. Yep, there goes the Scimitar. Draws handy miscalculation. Not particularly good in this situation, but it's a card that he can use. It looks like Umbra Squid. Okay, Umbra Squid is attacking the Thorntail Scamp. Going to attach the Problem Solver to Thorntail Scamp. Yep, and they both die. Good play on Gerrit's end. Problem Solver is kind of deceiving. Costs 4 and you have to discard a card. There's the Whirling Scimitar. I'm going to play it with the Mana Orb, and that's it from him. No cards in hand, nothing in the field, but Kool Kid not able to capitalize at the moment. There's another Counter Charm. That is fantastic for him. His second Counter Charm in the deck. Just swinging out with answers at the moment. There is the Shock Eel. No Blue Abyss cards in his hand, so he's just going to hard play it. Presents Gerrit with a threat. Gerrit's going to have to top deck something. Top decks Mirror Blade, not the card that he's looking for at the moment. Can't even play it. He's probably going to keep it in his hand to be fuel for the problem solver? Or is he going to play it? He's going to play it, okay. Plays Mirror Blade. Now, Mirror Blade is an older card. The text on Mirror Blade says that you may. This version of Mirror Blade says that you have to attach to an ally, but the errata text says that you may. Just gonna keep it off to the side. Passes it back. Ooh, draws Shrine of the Blue Abyss. Okay, Gerrit. Okay. It seems that Kool Kid is alright with Gerrit returning Mirror Blade to his hand. It seems to be a misplay. I think Gerrit reread the card. Kool Kid draws Trident from the Blue Abyss. Very interesting. Is he going to play it? No, he can't. Because he has no Blue Abyss cards in his hand. Very interesting. Well, Kool Kid knows that Gerrit has no tricks. No allies, and he knows that the card in his hand is Mirror Blade since Gerrit misplayed it earlier. So, if I were to guess, let's see here, pay 3. Is he going to play the Trident? Yep, plays the Trident. Shock Eel attacks for 3. With Trident in play, at the end of his turn, I believe it's the end of his turn, he has no Blue Abyss allies. Gerrit draws a second mana orb. He is still he's not drawing any bodies. He's drawing a lot of equipment at the moment, but not enough to actually to help him out at the moment. Gerrit needed a threat, did not get it. He has one more turn, but things are looking really grim for Gerrit. I think Kool Kid might just have it. Gerrit's thinking. Possibly talking to Kool Kid. The question is that if Gerrit plays plays the mana orb, does Kool Kid counter charm it? Gerrit is super ahead in mana at the moment. All right, yep. It seems to be that he's revealing his hand. Yep, and he looks like he surrenders his first game. Surrenders his first game. So, game 1 goes to Kool Kid. Yep. Kool Kid reveals his hand. He had a Flash Freeze, Counter Charm, and Handy Miscalculation. Very good. And it looks like we are moving on to game 2. Really good game there by Kool Kid. With the consistent tempo plays, Gerrit not getting a lot of good luck there. He does have a 40-card deck, so it's probably a bit harder to get his combo going. But I think we're going to see him do a little bit better in the second round. And we're back. It seems that Gerrit is not revealing his hand. We'll start with a Mana Stone. Just glancing at Kool Kid's hand, he has a good opener grip. With a Mana Orb, probably turn 3. Messenger Raven later on. Gerrit plays a face down. Stooping Sleuth is probably not the best. Yeah, still can't see Gerrit's hand for some reason. I'm gonna have to try to contact him. We'll get that fixed in just a second. Mana Stone Decay. Okay, I can only assume that the face down is a Kool Scale Asp, which is that what he's flipping right now? Oh, he's playing another face down. Okay. No response. Attacks him directly for 2. Gerrit with a good opening again. Kool Kid does not have a blue abyss in his hand this time though. Very interesting. We're going to have to view this from the side of Kool Kid since Gerrit does not appear to be responding to my isn't nagging. Here's a card face down. That is the Messenger Raven. Flips the face up. Okay, since we did not see his hand, I can only guess what those face downs are. I'm guessing one of them is a Kool Scale Asp. Oh, here we go. So as his Mana Stone, he's going to play Sedmir, Heart of Jigra. Not exactly the Mana Stone that you want to be seeing, but surely later on that's going to get better. There we go. Alright, sweet. It's working now. In his hand, he has Hellfire, Demonic Contract, Elvish Highlander. It's interesting that he did not play the Elvish Highlander first. That's probably what he's going to be doing now. Oh, he couldn't play the Highlander because he didn't have any Earth mana. I see. So there's the Highlander. And Hellfire, Demonic Contract, probably... Is he going to Hellfire the Messenger Raven? Nope, he's going to Demonic Contract. The Demonic Contract is a kind of weird card, but it can find any card in your deck, put it in your hand, and then you delete all other copies of it from your graveyard and from your hand and stuff like that. So it's a good card. You can get anything you want. The only drawback is that you kind of delete all other chances of you drawing it. So for example, if he were to get a Thorntail Scamp and add it to his hand, the second Thorntail Scamp he has in his deck would disappear into thin air. Be pondering what he's looking for. I'm guessing that he's going to be looking for a 5-drop of some sort. He reveals Jikra, Father of Lies, an Elder God card, adds it to his hand. That is the exact opposite of what I thought he would get. So, kudos to him, I guess. There is only one copy of Kefret, Father of Lies in his deck, so you do not delete any duplicates for legendaries, since there is only one. So, Gerrit clearly has a plan in mind if he's getting Kefret. I'm still kind of shocked by that, I'm gonna be honest. Huh. Okay, well, he attacks Kool with 2 of his face downs, and I believe that's all he can do for this turn. Yep, and there he goes. So, Kool, he has a Blue Abyss now. I wonder when he drew that with Messenger Raven, I see. So he's probably Kool. I'm guessing this is the turn for Mana Stone. Sorry, Mana Orb. Draws a card. Okay. He now has the Spell Ray. I think he's gonna go for the Mana Orb though. Yep, there is the Mana Orb. So now Kool is leading in the mana department. Kool hand just got a whole lot better with that Messenger Raven. Titan Turtle, very good card. He's now going to start, I think Kool going to start stockpiling up the cards in his hand, so then Titan Turtle just becomes a total monster. Little does he know, if Gerrit holds onto that Hellfire, that turtle is not going to be a threat for very long. Especially if one of these face downs is a Kool Scale Asp, which is a poisonous ally, that turtle is going to be a null threat. So, Kool is doing the best thing from his point of view, and it's the best play he can do right now. If I was in his position, I'd do the same thing. But he's kind of walking into a minefield without knowing it. I'm interested to see what Gerrit's going to do. I am completely blown away with the fact that he got Kefret of all things when he only has 4 mana. So 2 of them, yeah. 2 Shrouds attack Kool directly. The Messenger Raven blocks 1. It removes both. Does that mean he's flipping it? Nope. Just 1 takes some damage. I believe Kool should have taken some damage there. Did he? I don't believe Kool remembered to take damage there. I just want to double check with him. Yep, there you go. All is fixed. The honest mistake on his part is a lot of thinking to do. He's probably going to want to hold on to that Spell Ray until Kefret. So it might be easier for him just to spend his mana now and wait for Kefret to come out, only to Containment Agent Kefret. Either way, not looking that great. I did not see what that face down is. I think that's Snooping Sleuth. I think. It's not Containment Agent. I'm pretty sure it's the Sleuth. The Shroud mechanic is so mysterious that even the commentators don't know what it is, because I wasn't paying attention to that one particular card, but I think it's the Sleuth. Gerrit is slowly but surely building up enough mana to do something eventually. Phase 2. Is he going to Hellfire the face down? He's going to Hellfire the face down. That is... that might be a blunder on Gerrit's part, especially if this is a sleuth. He was going to probably need that Hellfire. Yeah, the Hellfire is going to get countered by the Spell Ray. Ooh, does not feel good for Gerrit right now. Hellfire gets countered. He reveals the Titan Turtle. Yeah, so the cool kid is just alluding to Gerrit's fate as he shows the Titan Turtle and counters the Hellfire. That's not very good. It's those kinds of tempo plays that got Kool Kid the win in the first place. Ooh, okay. So now Gerrit just kind of has to hold on to dear life for this Kefrit, but little does he know that a containment agent is probably awaiting Kefrit's fate right now. Still Gerrit's turn. He Hellfired on his turn, of course. Now he has a Spell Ray and a Shrouded ally to deal with. Did he draw a card on... No, okay, I think it works out. Yep, there's Pain. You still have 2 exhausted for your Hellfire. Interesting. Okay, yep, so he's going to make one of his allies attack one of the others. No, actually, I think that's slidable. Yep, there we go. I was just about to remind him about the Hellfire. Everything worked out in the end. I actually still can't believe that he picked Kefret with his demonic contract. But, I mean, he's going the distance. They're... Kool Kid, I guess... I wouldn't have picked that because I know what Kool Kid has in his hand, but... I think I said earlier that Kool Kid's walking to a minefield, but that is no longer the case. It appears that Gerrit is walking into his own minefield of sorts. I'm going to ask how the Spell Ray died. How did the Spell Ray die again? Because if Spell Ray blocked, then Kool Kid shouldn't take any damage. Yeah, I think they're going over that right now. They have it. They're working it out. Okay, they have it figured out. Yep, there we go. So Spell Ray did block there. Kool Kid doesn't take the damage. Man, Gerrit might be able just to close out the game. If he just holds down the pedal right now. If he can get any of those relics that he was getting earlier on in the game, he might just be able to win this. It's now Kool Kid's turn. Is this the time for the Titan Turtle? Possibly? He only has 2 cards in hand. Titan Turtle gains plus X100, X100, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So since he only has 2, it would gain plus 200, plus 200. Still, not a minor buff, but Kool Kid says this sucks. Yeah, it's not exactly the best position he's ever been in. What does he do here? Needs a vanguard or a body of some sort. I think the play might just be playing the Titan Turtle, but if one of those face downs is a Kool skill Asp, then Kool Kid is in a real pickle. Although if Kool Kid can stall out a little bit longer, I think his hand would be able to carry him to the end. But Gerrit's pinning him down right now and does not want to let go. We're going to see what's going to happen here in just a second. Pays one? Pays one water. Or possibly he's just thinking. He's just thinking. Titan Turtle does have Snap. So possibly instead of playing it on, he's waiting for Gerrit's. Kool Kid is going to play the Titan Turtle. He's going to have to do everything. Okay. He's going to play the Containment Agent. Alright. Containment Agent is face down. He has enough mana to flip it. Is he going to flip it this turn or on Gerrit's turn? It's a good question. Paying 4. Okay, he's going to play the Shock Eel. I'm going to reveal the Titan Turtle, of course. Bounce one of the Shroud. Okay, he bounced the Ravenous Homunculus. Let's see what Gerrit does here. Probably going to get another Mana Stone. He is saving up his allowance for that Kefret. He does. Can y'all keep it down? I'm recording something right now. Paying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. 5 to Shroud and immediately flip face up the Ravenous Homunculus. So plus 200 makes him a 500. Yep, there he is. He's going to stab the Shadow Puppet to destroy the Containment Agent. Now Kool Kid has no answers to Kefret if Kefret ever gets played. Oh, never mind. He just drew a Spell Ray. That is an answer to Kefret right there. So I guess Kool Kid has nothing to worry about. Carter says, this is a library. So the shock eel is going to attack the face down. Okay, so a little bit of rules confusion there. Shock eel attacked the face down. Gerrit attempted to block with his homunculus, but you can't block attacks if they target another ally. You can only block if they target a player. So there we go. I don't know why Blue Abyss's shock eel's attack has gone down, but it's interesting nonetheless. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 8 mana at the moment. If he can get a couple more things to die. Hoping for a top deck. Yep, Kool Kid going to need a top deck here. Or he could play the Titan Turtle. That could buy him a little bit of time. But it can only stop so much. Does have the spell rate, but maybe he doesn't want to reveal it. Revealing your counter spell is not a traditionally not a very good turn or a very good play. Flash Freeze is the top deck he was looking for. That buys him another turn. I wonder what he does. Probably Shock Eel attacks the homunculus, perhaps? Definitely thinking. Flash Freeze definitely helps him right now. And it helps him live a couple more turns. That can give him some more time to stabilize. But right now, still definitely in Gerrit's favor. I think he's thinking it through. Shock Eel. That's right. Just double checking with Bloodthirsty. Can't overheal. Your life total is 20 unless otherwise specified. Yep, passes it back. That's probably actually really smart. He can now counter any spells that Gerrit plays, and if the homunculus ever attacks him directly, he can flash freeze it and buy himself some more time. Gerrit with a mana stone. I believe it's almost there. I think he's at 9 mana at the moment. It's one shy of summoning Kefret, the card that he got on turn 5. So Gerrit attacks him directly. Kool Kid flash freezes it, of course. So that blocks the attack and causes the homunculus to be frozen. Very good play on his part. Spares Kool Kid. Gives him about another 3 turns. But Cool Kid knows. He saw that demonic contract early on in the game. He knows Kefret is coming. He, I think, okay, I think Gerrit. Hold on, hold on. Yeah, he already played a Mana Stone this turn. Yep, so because Cool Kid froze on Garrett's turn, he thought that it was his turn again. It wasn't. Just wanna. Monculus is still frozen and exhausted. Yep, just got excited. I'd be excited too if you were to play Kefret, but completely understandable. Is that it? Is that a hypnotic pattern? Can he play hypnotic pattern and no, he can't play hypnotic pattern and the spell ray at the same time. Is he going for it? I think he's going for it. He's going for the hypnotic pattern. Okay. Interesting. That means that he doesn't have mana available for the spell ray though. Shroud does not count towards the cost. Yep, so you have a he has a 500/500 Ravenous Homunculus now. So Cool Kid has it controlled, still iced though. Better than nothing. That is true. How is Cool Kid going to stop the Kefret? He could use the Shock Eel and kill the Highlander to give him another turn, perhaps. That might be what he has going on right now. He might be 2 steps ahead of me. I did not really consider that. Looks like he's thinking. I probably just made a massive misplay and I've just lost. Well, I don't think it's quite over yet. Okay, so I believe Gerrit gets Kefret this turn. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kefret, Father of Lies. One of the 3 most powerful cards in the game. Actually, funny enough, for everyone that's new to this card game, this is the weakest Elder God of the 3. Cool Kid says, yeah. Gerrit responds with, Elder Gods, they'll get ya. Kefret, the card that you got at turn 5. Cool Kid draws Snooping Sleuth. Not exactly the card you want to be looking for at the moment. Ooh, yeah, not looking really great for Cool Kid at the moment. Missed his chance to counter the Kefret, which is fine. Bit of a misplay, but even if he was able to counter the Kefret, there was still there wasn't a real guarantee of him winning. He would still be on the back foot. I feel like Gerrit's been kind of pushing this game since the beginning. I don't want to say Kool Kid's out of it, but I think the win right now is really heavily favoring Gerrit at the moment. And it's an Elder God on the opposite side of the board. It's a threat that you really got to deal with. And I'm not seeing any real way to deal with it right now in Kool Kid's hand. Kool Kid could block the Kefret, but then he gets Kefret spawns in little squidlings whenever it takes damage. It's like a big water balloon of evil. If my purple boy blocks, you heal. You do, but it can't block right now because it's iced. Can't block right now because it's iced. Yep, turns it sideways, get rid of the ice. Shock Eel can still block, but if he were to block and deals 300 to Kefret, then Gerrit gets 3 little squidlings. Lazy face down, I believe that is a snooping sleuth. So just trying to get bodies on the field right now. Kind of all Kool Kid can do right now. Gerrit's turn, draws Kool Scale Asp. I wonder if it's worth it for Gerrit to actually play that. If Kool Kid gets another hypnotic pattern and hypnotizes the Asp could actually kill Kefret. Gerrit's thinking. Yep, plays the Asp. Okay. Kefret is going to attack Kool Kid's face directly. Kool Kid has to block, or he dies. So we're going to see if he sacrifices the Sleuth or the Shock Eel. Or he could snap in the Spell Ray. Okay, he snaps in the Spell Ray. Yeah, okay, so he's going to counter the Asp, snap in the Spell Ray. And Kefret's blocked by the Spell Ray. That makes sense. That would be a good play. Okay, yep, he's throwing the Sleuth. The Sleuth under the bus. So then Kefret takes 200 damage. We're right now working on the counters. So since he took 200 damage, if you read his ability, he gets 2 100 100. He seems to add in a My Little Pony token for the 100 100 horror. I just want the public to know that we actually do have tokens created for this event. Gerrit has consciously chosen not to use them and has decided to use the My Little Pony cards instead. Yeah. That sounds about right, honestly. Kefret, Father of Lies, is taking a nap. Takes a lot out of an Elder God to completely annihilate a little puny detective. Although, since Kefret attacked this turn, Kool Kid might be able to kill it while it's down. Although, that's also not exactly ideal since all the tokens he'll make will kill him anyway. Well, Kool Kid is still in a bit of a pickle at the moment. Playing Titan Turtle can give him a beefy body, but other than that, Kool Kid doesn't have a lot going for him. Especially now that Gerrit has 3 allies that can attack Kool Kid's blockers, he won't be able to block the Kefret that goes straight for his throat. plays prosthetic arm. Going to attach the prosthetic arm. Yep, that's right. To the spell ray. And I'm just imagining the idea of a spell ray with a prosthetic arm attached to it. I find that very amusing for some reason. Looks like the shock eel and homunculus are attacking. Attacking Kefret, okay. So that will probably kill Kefret. Yep, that'll kill him. But it creates a lot of horror tokens. As you can see, Gerrit is creating them now. That's a lot of My Little Pony tokens. A threat to be dealt with, surely. I'm sorry. As a commentator, I can't take the horror tokens very seriously when they are actually just My Little Pony cards. That's just my personal preference, but things are looking very bleak for Kool Kid. I believe he's going to get clobbered to death by My Little Pony cards. That is a pile of horror tokens. It's Gerrit's turn. I believe that Kefret is dead. Don't know why he's still there. Maybe they're discussing him. Oh, they're trying to figure out a way to shuffle him back into the deck. It just shuffles him into the deck. Okay. Well, there's a jungle python for Gerrit, a poisonous ally. Um, there it is. Jungle python. Gerrit grouped 10 cards. I didn't even know you could do that. Okay. There are 10 horrors in a pile. Somehow. We seem to be having some minor technical difficulties. Okay, 10 horrors. Swing all to Kool Kid's face. Kool Kid can only block one if he chooses to block at all, which he should. But that being said, yep, he is now down to 3 life. Not a comfortable life total to have in this situation. It, I, okay. I know before I said the chances were slim for Kool Kid. The chances are basically zero. Like, there's a card in this game called Wish, and it grants you a wish. That card's not good enough to save him right now. Uh, it it's going to take a minor miracle to land this burning plane right now. This is not a good situation for Kool Kid. He's done the best he can. Okay, he drew a counter charm, so he can stop the situation from getting worse. The card that could probably get him out is Portal to somewhere, but even then, it's still not good. He's still in a lot of trouble. Gerrit plays Katir and Bobble. What is he? What mode is he gonna do? Um, did Gerrit draw a card on Kool Kid's turn? Oh, I see. Yep. So Kool Kid is revealing his hand. I believe Kool Kid has conceded due to the giant army of ponies. Um, I believe that is correct. The Elder God dying, exploding into a bunch of Eldritch ponies. So I believe Gerrit's life total is now 41. Okay, yeah, that's that game. So now it is 1-1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to round 4 of the SpellSlingers tournament, where we have Gerrit and Kool Kid. If you notice there was a bit of a jarring cut there, that's because Gerrit's computer crashed, and it's been multiple days later, and we're finally wrapping up the round. Each player's had the exact same decks, as I recall. So, yeah, we will be underway. Go ahead. So in the last couple of games, Gerrit was having some trouble with his draws. He consistently drew relic cards over and over and over again without having any real fuel for his hand. So we're going to see how that works out here. Kool Kid is using a Blue Abyss deck, which did surprisingly well, actually. I was not expecting Blue Abyss to be this prominent. But here they are. They are quite powerful, apparently. Gerrit plays a Mana Stone. Earth Mana Stone, of course. He's probably going to Shroud the Ravenous Homunculus and get in for 2 early on. Just looking at these hands, I think Gerrit is definitely more favored here. In his hand, he has a Hellfire, which can blow up anything in Kool Kid's deck. He also has 2 Demonic Contracts. And Demonic Contract basically says that you can get any other card in your deck if you pay 2. So, just all around a good card. Blackwood Shaman, very fantastic tempo card for Earth. Ravenous Homunculus is not exactly the best ally, but it's something. It's better than nothing. Alright, there he goes. Homunculus is on the field. Plays the Homunculus before Kool Kid can Counter Charm. Kool Kid does have Counter Charm, so expect that to come out. He's probably going to use it on a Demonic Contract or Hellfire if it ever comes up. Alright. Big Man Stone. Probably going to throw down a wall of ice to kind of stave off the pressure. Although, maybe he's thinking about something. He does have 2 blue abyss cards in his hand, which is very good. You need at least 1 blue abyss card in your hand. 1 blue abyss card that you never play that just kind of lingers around a little bit, and you can definitely do that now that he has Shock Eel and Titan Turtle. Shock Eel if he tries to regain tempo by returning something to its owner's hand, and the Titan Turtle if he ever wants to get in for some big damage later on. Titan Turtle is a really scary card, turns out. Plus X100, where X is the number of cards in your hand, is not a joke. Especially when it has Snap, of all things. Let's see. Gerrit is unable to flip the Ravenous Homunculus because it costs 3 dark. He might try to do it here, which would be somewhat embarrassing. Yep, as we can see here, it costs 3. Yep, he's figured it out. He has caught himself before he made a mistake there. That's good. So what is he going to do instead? Probably, I would suggest Blackwood Shaman, perhaps. To play another Mana Stone, if you're going for the long haul, possibly give the Shrouded Ally plus 200 attack. That buff carries over when it gets flipped face up because it is still technically the same thing. It's still technically the same card. It's just face down and you treat it as a 200. So Blackwood Shaman is definitely viable here. Yep, and Gerrit asked the exact same question. It's the same card. It's the same card, just in different states. Damage carries over as well. So just a little bit of confusion around the Shroud mechanic. It is a bit strange, especially for people who aren't used to it. So I believe that's what he's going to do. He's going to play the Blackwood Shaman and give the 300 bonus to the Shroud. So then it can take down the Wall of Ice. Okay, here's the Blackwood Shaman. Okay, he's going to play a Mana Stone. Definitely not what I predicted, but that's not a bad move. He's gearing up for the late game, and he's already 2 Mana Stones up on Kool Kid. So, again, we've been talking about this in the tournament over and over and over again. Card tempo. Just having those little pushes, those little plays that get you ever so slightly ahead of your opponent in resources or in board pressure or in card control. Every single time you do, you make a little bit of advantage, a little advantage. They eventually all stack up, and it gives you this huge forward momentum, which can just close game. So, Blackwood Shaman doesn't seem like a lot's going on now, but in a couple of turns, it's going to get real scary. Kool Kid accidentally discards Runic Examination. Accidentally discarded Runic Examination. He was trying to play a Mana Stone, so a little bit awkward there. All worked out in the end. I wonder what Kool Kid's going to do here. Probably keep his mana up for either a Flash Freeze or Counter Charm. Now Kool Kid just talking to Gerrit, asking if he saw the Runic Examination go into the graveyard. Let's see. Yep, so he keeps his mana up most likely for a counter charm. Don't know what he'll be counter charming. Gerrit can demonic contract, but then Kool Kid will counter it, which is not a problem for Gerrit since he has a second one. It's a bit of a nuisance, you know. You always prefer to have 2 contracts instead of 1, but it is what it is. The interesting thing is how Gerrit is going to get past this wall of ice. It has Vanguard and Frostbite, so it deals damage and puts an ice counter on him. It's a kind of annoying roadblock in Gerrit's way right now. He might just Hellfire the wall of ice, which could work. There we go. Demonic contract. Kool Kid is going to counter charm. Down goes the contract. Off it goes. Gerrit could just force through the second contract, or he could just Hellfire the wall of ice, now knowing that, yep, he's going to Hellfire the wall of ice. He now knows that there's no counter spells, nothing to get in his way. So Hellfiring the wall of ice there. Pretty good. And now he's going to get in for 3 on Kool Kid from the looks of it. Kool Kid kind of caught off guard. Gerrit responds with a wink. Alright, let's see what Kool Kid's going to do. So as you noticed, those were multiple really good tempo plays on Gerrit's part. Plays the contract, Kool Kid counters it, which would normally throw him off, but when he countered the demonic contract, he basically allowed the Hellfire to go scot-free. Gerrit forgot to play Mana Stone there. Feeling a little bit lenient today. It's now Kool Kid's turn. Kool Kid draws from the main deck, looking for answers. Gets Runic Examination, which allows him to draw 2 more cards. Does not have Snap. Is he just going to hardcast it? From the looks of it, yep. Here we go. Runic Examination. Draws Hypnotic Pattern, which is interesting. And a Snooping Sleuth. The Sleuth could probably buy him some time. Have a blocker. Deal some good damage to the Blackwood Shaman, because that's probably what's going to attack it, let's be honest. Gerrit can also flip his Ravenous Homunculus now that he has 3 dark mana. Which means that next turn Kool Kid could probably just mind control it. Okay. Here's a demonic contract. Kool Kid doesn't have any mana, so can't respond. I wonder what Gerrit is going to get. Off the top of my head, he's gotten Elder Gods before, although I still don't think that's a very good idea at this point in time. Possibly another Hellfire. Maybe a Purge, perhaps. Some equipment. Wheerland Scimitar would be pretty good in this situation. Problem Solver for the Blackwood Shaman to get rid of anything that gets in his way. It's the main things that I'm thinking of. Backstab, of course. Silent Takedown. Just some more removal. Maybe a threat of some sort. Like a 5-drop. But it looks like he has chosen Kefret, Father of Lies. The Elder God, tried and true strategy. Gerrit has won the previous round, actually, by doing that, where he just demonic contracts into an Elder God. I believe he tried to flip his Ravenous Homunculus, but he didn't have the right amount of mana for it. So Kool Kid takes 3, which is much better than if the Ravenous Hydra got flipped, where he would take 6. Scary card, Ravenous Hydra.
Hydra. Ravenous Homunculus. Sorry. I'm thinking of something else. Now has 4 mana up. Could Hypnotic Pattern. Could Spell Ray. Possibly. Spell Ray what, though, I do not know. What is he doing? Oh, I see. He forgot to play Mana Stone. So he just interrupted Kool Kid's turn there just to kind of finish up what he's doing. Gerrit a little bit slow in playing Mana Stone so far. He keeps forgetting that phase of the game. It seems to be working out. It really comes down to, is Kool Kid going to Hypnotic Pattern the Homunculus before it flips? That's the question. Because if he does, he can't flip it. He needs Dark Mana to do it. Or is he going to Spell Ray the face down? It's up to him. Okay, he is going to Hypnotic Pattern. And he's going to steal the face down. So, here's the thing with untap and gaining control of things. To put it simply, there's no easy way to give control to a opponent. So, Kool Kid has made a duplicate of the face down card. Yep. So he Hypnotic Patterned it. This Shroud card up here doesn't count. It's not there. The real one is this dupe we got right here. Very odd. It's just the limitations in Untap software. There we go. Bruh. Kool Kid responds with a bruh. Just want to clarify some things with Shroud. It's your ally, so you can look at it whenever you want. You control it now. Here comes the Wyrland Scimitar. So earlier, Gerrit was in a much tougher situation because 200-200 versus a 100-300 isn't exactly good. But now, Gerrit has the Wyrland Scimitar, which gives his ally swordsmanship and plus 200-200. So it is now a 300-300 swordsmanship, which is pretty dangerous. That's a dangerous card. Passes it back to Kool Kid. Let's see. Come on, Kool Kid. Let's see what he got. He could Spell Ray the Shaman, but then the Shaman would get value again when Gerrit resummons it. Possibly getting him another Mana Stone, or getting him another tree, or maybe even pumping the Blackwood Shaman up even more. So that's not exactly the most ideal solution, but it might be the only choice Kool Kid has at the moment. He doesn't have enough for the Titan Turtle. He could flash freeze it. Okay, he's going to play face down Shrouded Ally. We know that is Snooping Sleuth. Or as people in server like to call him, Sherlock Holmes. Gerrit plays a Mana Stone. He is slowly building up his resources so he can eventually play Kefret, Father of Lies. That's happening in 3 turns. So the Shaman with Swordsmanship is going to attack the Shroud. It dies. Shaman is exhausted. There you go. There you go. Passes it back to Kool Kid. Kool Kid untaps this stuff. And kind of a bit of a dilemma comes to him. Does he play the Titan Turtle? Oh, here we go. Kool Kid has asked to pause. He has a question, I believe. Okay. So Kool Kid didn't quite understand what Swordsmanship did. Going to play Runic Examination. Draws Counter Charm and Spell Ray. That's pretty terrific for him. So Kefret, no longer much of a threat as long as he has mana up. Still not in a good situation, but now Kefret is not as much as a bomb as Gerrit thinks he is. So Gerrit, in a way, unknowingly is kind of passing his turn, building up his resources to play a card that's probably going to get countered. Kool Kid's still not in a comfortable position. The Blackwitch Shaman is hitting him for 300 every turn, which is not nice. So Kool Kid's going to take that 300. He has a clock. He can probably survive it, to be honest. He has Flash Freeze in hand. So that gives him 2 turns of no combat from the Shaman, which gives him enough time to counter Kefret and maybe play a pretty beefy Titan Turtle. With all of those Runic Examinations, Titan Turtle, he's going to have a huge amount of stats. Gerrit unintentionally skipping Kool Kid's turn there. That's why I asked if you were finished because you passed it. I don't believe Kool Kid passed it back. Yep. That's right. Kool Kid never passed it back. It was never his turn. Just a minor error there. Understandable. I think he just keeps mana open for Flash Freeze / Counter Charm, and or Spell Ray. Spell Ray and Counter Charm do the exact same thing. Spell Ray is a bit more interesting though, because it is a creature. It has stats, but it can only Counter Charm something if you have another Blue Abyss. So it's a bit more inconsistent. If you do have another Blue Abyss, it is just better than Counter Charm, but Counter Charm doesn't have that prerequisite of having a Blue Abyss card. 10 Kool Kid directly. I believe this is where the Flash Freeze is going to come out. Yep, Flash Freeze it. So the Shaman is frozen. Is now iced. The Shaman is exhausted. It did attack. It just it was blocked by not an ally, but just an effect. Common misunderstanding. It's interesting to see what Kool Kid's gonna do here. In his situation, I'm not sure what I would do. I think you just keep. Okay, you need to have mana up because next turn is Kefra. You need 3 mana up. So he basically only has 4 this turn. Kool Kid just DM'd me some questions. The question being, if he counters a card, does the mana spent on that card come back? For example, if he plays Kefret and Kool Kid counter charms it, does all the mana stones that Gerrit exhaust return back to their normal state because it got countered? And the answer is no. you still have to pay the cost. Just as it's entering play, you negate it entirely. So the cost is still paid. You have to pay it to even try to play the card. The counter charm just stops it. Very strange mechanic. I wonder what he's doing. Okay, so there's the Shock Eel. Shock Eel is going to bounce Blackwood Shaman to Gerrit's hand. Pretty okay. The Weirdland Scimitar is now just hanging around. Doesn't have an owner quite yet, but I'm assuming that it's going to come in soon. That might just be Kool Kid's turn. At least now he has a Shock Eel on the board where he has a blocker and attacker. A 300/300. It's not great. Won't survive the Shaman with the Scimitar, but it's something. Buys him some more time. Gerrit is going to play Dark Mana Stone. I believe he's just going to try to cast Kefrit here, even though Kool Kid has mana up for Counter Charm. There we go. Running out Kefrit. There's the Counter Charm. So Kefrit will not be resolving today. Down he goes. So Kool Kid just stopped a bomb from landing. But he's still not in a great position. Gerrit now has 10 mana available. He can play basically anything he wants from his deck. Just off the top. And he has a Scimitar and a Shaman in hand. So still, even though Kool Kid just countered an Elder God, still not looking great for him. Temple plays are really starting to catch up with him. Kool Kid has in his hand a Mana Orb. Just drew that. Not exactly an answer to the predicament that he's in, but it might help him catch up to the huge difference in mana between the two. There's the Mana Orb. Let's see. What do you do here? Okay, so he's attacking with the Shock Eel. Makes sense. So I believe Gerrit's going to take 300 there. Yep, there he goes. And he has, you know what? He has mana available for the Spell Ray to counter the Shaman if Gerrit plays it. Gerrit draws a Milk-Dew Demon, however, which is not a good look for Kool Kid right now. I think arguably the Shaman is slightly, ever so slightly scarier because of that enter the battlefield ability, that summon ability. But Milk-Dew Demon has scarier stats that the Scimitar will make even scarier. So we're going to see what Gerrit does here, because whatever he does is going to get countered by Kool Kid. Or maybe Kool Kid is just going to flash in a Blue Abyss Titan Turtle. Who knows? Yep. There you go. So he is going to Spell Ray the Milk-Dew Demon, which is just good. That is a tempo play. But Gerrit has 10 mana. He can kind of do whatever he wants right now. So I'm assuming, I think he has enough mana just to play the Shaman here. Yep, there's the Shaman. And equip it with the Scimitar in the same turn. Yep, 300/300. And there it goes. Very scary. It is a 500/300. Not good. Kool Kid draws a Malfunction. Now that could be useful. If he gets rid of the Weirdland Scimitar, if he malfunctions the Weirdland Scimitar and attacks with his Shock Eel, yeah, so then Blackwood Shaman loses its swordsmanship and its attack points drop by 200, so it's now down to a 300 again. Just have to wait for stuff to resolve here real quick. Then the Shock Eel should be able to kill the Blackwood Shaman in a single attack. And Kool Kid gets to draw a card. That's a bad call by me. I was not reading the feed. Then we have the Spell Ray hitting Gerrit for 100. So, Kool Kid drew another Spell Ray. And Gerrit drew a Scimitar, which is the Scimitar that got bounced on top of his spell book. So, here comes the Scimitar. I'm guessing Kool Kid is just going to counter it. Nope, doesn't counter it. That's fair. Portal to Somewhere. Okay, Kool Kid is starting to regain some of those tempo plays. The difference in mana between him and Gerrit is starting to be closed with that mana orb. He now has Portal to Somewhere in his hand, which can board wipe if Gerrit gets out of hand, and he has a Titan Turtle in his hand that he can snap in on Gerrit's turn, and it gains plus 200, making it a 500, 800 ally. Scary card. Let's see. Gerrit has a Katerian Bauble. This would be normally really good for him. He can find an ally with 400 or more attack and add it to his hand. But I don't think the Bauble's resolving because Kool Kid can just Spell Ray it. So we're gonna find out. I believe Kool Kid. Yep, there it is. The Spell Ray. It's Spell Ray time. Heartbreaking to see the Bauble get Spell Rayed. Still think the tempo is starting to lean back in Kool Kid's favor. But Gerrit could just top deck a Raiden Marrow or a giant, like a War Elephant. Anything big. And it's kind of over. Swordsmanship with that Scimitar will make it somewhat unbeatable in combat. Alright, Kool Kid draws a Trident from the Blue Abyss. Okay, this is good. Now Kool Kid, with the Trident, has the attack damage needed to start putting threats on the board. This is his version of the Scimitar. It gives him plus 200, plus 100, and a Frostbite. So even if the guy using the Trident throws it away by dying when attacking something, he'll freeze down, pin down one of Gerrit's threats for a turn. Deals some damage. Yep, both Spell Rays are attacking Gerrit. As you do. Kool Kid reveals the Titan Turtle and is going to attach the Trident to the Spell Ray. So that Spell Ray in particular is holding a Trident. Huh. So Gerrit drew a threat, but he does not have enough mana to actually cast it. It is a 12 cost Elder God. He only has 10. He needs a mana orb if he wants to get Jikra onto the field. That's such an awkward draw for him. Normally that would be really good. Oh my gosh. And Kool Kid draws Bazazan, Lord of the Blue Abyss. The boss monster of the Blue Abyss. This might just be it. Kool Kid might just close out the game. Gerrit just did not get the luck he was looking for. He was looking for a big creature, but not Jikra. Jikra is not the answer he needed right now. It's far too expensive. In other circumstances, that'd be pretty good, but not in this one. So we're going to see what Kool Kid does. Bazazan in the hand might change some things. Interesting on why he reduced the Spell Ray stats there. I guess maybe the Spell Ray took damage. All right, here he comes. Bazzoxan, Lord of the Blue Abyss. Gerrit's sweating now. Next turn, I think there's a lethal on the board next turn. So it's down to this next draw, basically. Yikes. Gerrit's deck has not been doing him a service lately. He has 33 cards. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of junk. There's probably a couple answers in there, but the chances are slim. Gerrit draws a Mirror Blade. I don't think that's going to do it for him. I think that's the game. Mirror Blade can't do anything for him. He has the Scimitar. He has Jikra in hand, but he can't cast it. Yeah, the best thing he can do right now is just to bluff that he has something. He tapped 6 for the Mirror Blade and decided not to do anything. So it's Kool Kid's turn to see if he takes the bait. I still think with Kool Kid you go in. Even if he kills Bazzoxan, you get 3 more card draws, which can get you into more gas, which will eventually kill Gerrit. But I think Gerrit's bluff might have worked. No, never mind. Kool Kid hesitated for just a second, but I think that he reached the rightful decision of, well, if he has it, he has it, and it's going to go in for lethal. That's 900 exactly. Kool Kid asks if Gerrit has anything. Gerrit has nothing, and that's the game. So this match goes to Kool Kid. Kool Kid will go into the winner's bracket. Don't worry for all you Gerrit Brock fans. Gerrit is still in the game. He's just going to the loser's bracket instead. Kool Kid is the winner. This ends round 4 of the tournament. I'll see you guys in the second phase of the bracket in round 5.